it was like every 15 to 20 minutes that went past, guys was going past this one cell. So when he yanked the door open, they just throw the cups of boo-boo in there on him.
Following the denial of bail at his most recent court appearance, David is being moved into custody. It has been confirmed that David was transferred to the men's central jail in LA County. Reports indicate he is currently in solitary confinement due to his public profile, leading some to assume his celebrity status offers protection. However, it does not. A viral response noted. Despite being in solitary, David still receives 1 hour of recreation daily where other protective custody inmates will confront him regarding his specific charges. Safety is impossible in that environment after committing such crimes. Furthermore, a former inmate explained the reality of David's situation. Although he cannot leave his cell freely, other prisoners will still find ways to target him.
Our offenders and treated in prison, they got treated bad. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even think nothing about that. I just know that it was like every 15 to 20 minutes that went past, guys was going past this one cell. And it'd be like, there's 3 of them. One of them would grab the cell door and be on this side like this, and then the other 2 would be on this side. So the one, and they did this like every 20 to 30 minutes, every like clockwork. And this one would yank the door open, and the other 2 on this side had cups full of and boo-boo. So when he yanked the door open, they just throw the cups of boo-boo in there on him, and then boom, close the door, lock it on him. You know, so that was crazy. But and then some was getting jumped on, some was getting slapped, extorted, some was having to do full favor.
However, the situation becomes even more serious for David as his arrest record lists him at 5 feet 5 inches and 125 pounds, placing him at a significant physical disadvantage within the prison system, given the nature of the charges against him. He is almost certain to be targeted. Additionally, leaked reports of his 6-day-per-week meal plan suggest he is unlikely to gain any meaningful physical strength while incarcerated. At his current facility, dinner typically consists of macaroni with beef, 1 apple, 8 ounces of milk, and a peanut butter granola bar for dessert. The environment will become even more dangerous once he is placed into general housing, where inmates will quickly recognize his celebrity status. His charges will spread rapidly from cell to cell, and the inmate population will ultimately decide how he is treated. According to court documents highlighted by Jesse Weber of Law and Crime, prosecutors allege that David used a sharp weapon. He is facing charges including murder for financial gain, murder to prevent testimony, lying in wait, and the use of a deadly weapon. Most significantly, the allegations involving Celeste, particularly considering her age, are expected to provoke an especially hostile response from other inmates.
First of all, we suspected that David would be charged with murder after that was what he was arrested for, and in other court documents that came out a couple months ago, we know that he was being investigated for murder. But first-degree murder with special circumstances? Lying in wait to murdering a witness as part of an investigation? Murdering for financial gain? And now facing the possibility of the death penalty, even though it's my understanding there is a moratorium in California. That is a huge deal.
David's family responded by stating, "We are disappointed but not surprised by the district attorney's decision, and we stand behind David 100%. However, many overlook David's own reaction to Courtroom, as he understands how these charges will shape his reality behind bars." Observers reported that while the judge read the charges aloud, the singer sat with his mouth open in visible shock, especially when the possibility of the death penalty was mentioned. The courtroom reportedly fell silent before his attorney stepped forward to respond. His legal team stated, "We believe the evidence will ultimately show that David did not commit this crime and was not responsible for her death." They formally requested a full preliminary hearing within the required 10-day window, unless waived by the defense. They emphasized their intent to bring all evidence to light as soon as possible. With a hearing scheduled for April 2-3 as David listened to his attorneys enter a plea of not guilty, he appeared visibly anxious, his eyes scanning the courtroom. Bail was denied. Prosecutors also revealed that the case includes over 40 terabytes of discovery, an enormous volume of evidence that will take significant time to review. Some of this material has reportedly surfaced online. Observers note that the same evidence circulating publicly will inevitably reach the inmates in David's housing unit, further influencing how he is treated inside the facility.
Yo, Wait.
Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer
Which
that.
one? What's good, David? Big fan, big spot me. Oh, thank you, Mitchell.
I gotta stop with him if you even.
Are we
We need to delete this.
Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
Investigators further noted that their joint Twitch livestream was deliberately used as a subtle way of introducing their relationship to David's massive fan base. However, what follows is where this case takes a truly unbelievable turn, as a video discovered on David's personal phone appears to function as nothing less than a confession.
Guys, I know I haven't posted on this account in a little minutes, but I just had some words to share with you for 2025. Despite all the craziness that's going on, all the turmoil, the natural disasters, the pain and things like that this year, I just wanted to tell you guys not to be discouraged and not to lose hope and not to turn your face from God in these times of evil. And it seems like just at the start of the year, it's literally January and all this stuff is happening. It's like the most insane, it's February now, but it's the most insane start to a year that I've ever seen. But God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. So keep that sound mind 2025. Stay prayed up.
In the video, David casually references multiple recent passings in his personal life. When investigators examined the metadata and cross-referenced it with his family and close circle, they discovered 0 documented deaths at the time of the recording. This strongly suggests David was indirectly referencing the passing of Celeste herself. Prosecutors then attached 2 separate interviews to the evidence file, the first being a clip where David openly states his desire to live on a remote island, completely disconnected from social media, within 4 years. Coincidentally, that exact timeline aligns with when Celeste would have legally become an adult.
You see yourself in the next 5 years?
Okay, so the plan is hopefully this music thing takes off crazy next year.
Why is he saying? Why are you saying that like you're not like up there?
Well, I'm not there yet, but hopefully it's like even crazier next year. And then I go on crazy year after year for the next 3 years. And then on the 4th year, I retire. And on the 5th year, I'm off the grid, living somewhere like on an island with this crazy crib. No social media, no digital footprint. I'm just gone. I'm just gone. In 5 years, I'm gonna be gone.
Will you still remember me?
Yeah, bro. You'll have like the secret codes to the mansion.
Yeah?
You can pull up on every.
What's the secret code? Give us the first 2 numbers.
Absolutely
of the secret.
not.
Investigators specifically flagged that the interview question referenced 5 years, yet David voluntarily answered with 4. That discrepancy alone raised serious concern. However, the second interview introduced into the evidence file is far more disturbing and directly connects to recently surfaced material. An alleged photograph of David wearing a wig nearly identical to one frequently worn by Celeste emerged online, confirming his familiarity with anime culture, which alone is entirely acceptable. But it was a specific description of his alter ego that completely derailed investigators. David openly admitted to having an alternate persona that exists within an anime-style world, one that fantasizes about embodying a character who carries out extremely serious criminal acts. Pay very close attention to the specific crime he references in that interview.
Basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego, and the story of the manga went like I was a detective and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, kind of like Fight Club with Tyler Durden, and he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective. So like when I was as the detective, I'd be like solving that I'm committing myself. And it was like a cool little story. I didn't think anything would come of it. Like it was in the...
Investigators even screenshot a viral comment that read, "There are hundreds of crimes he could have chosen to describe his alter ego, yet he selects that specific one. This cannot be a coincidence." And if that unsettles you, like the video, because the next piece of evidence is something you will struggle to believe. Before David's arrest, investigators made a calculated move by summoning his family to testify before a grand jury regarding Celeste's passing. Then, precisely 48 hours later, David's Tesla was scheduled for public auction after he repeatedly failed to retrieve it from the impound lot. Yet moments before the auction commenced, David suddenly appeared to collect his vehicle, clearly believing that all attention had shifted toward his family's court appearance.
Let me read you what Steve recently posted on X, okay? David's Tesla, the vehicle in which Celeste Rivas Hernandez was found, was held by LAPD for only 48 hours to process evidence. After that, it was returned to the impound lot for David to retrieve, which he had not done until today. The Tesla was scheduled to go to auction tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., and I had planned to attend and inspect it. However, in the final hours before auction, David, or someone with power of attorney acting on his behalf, picked it up. When I checked last week, the storage fees were approximately $10,500, as the vehicle had been released and available for pickup since September 10th, before Celeste had been identified. I hope just the thought of that vehicle haunts David and anyone else that knew Celeste was in the trunk for the rest of their lives.
This single act confirmed to investigators that David remained fully aware of the ongoing investigation and was actively attempting to recover his assets while attention was diverted. This then led authorities directly to his physical property, where what they uncovered inside his private rental home left investigators completely stunned. A private investigator confirmed the discovery of an industrial incinerator capable of reaching temperatures as high as 1,600 degrees Fahrenheit, located inside David's residence.
I've been wondering just what it was that a private investigator named Steve Fisher found inside David's home when he was given access last October. The PI reported seeing, quote, items you would expect to find on a farm rather than in a home in the Hollywood Hills. And today, we are learning about one of those items.
Possession of such a device is strictly illegal for any Los Angeles resident without an official permit or ownership of a registered farm, which immediately raised two critical questions. Why did David purchase it? And how did he acquire it without detection? The evidence file also contains something deeply unsettling, specifically a video of David scrubbing Celeste's shoes on his balcony late at night in complete darkness. These were the identical Jordans Celeste had been photographed wearing on a school bus. David clearly believed he was eliminating physical evidence by cleaning the footwear. His efforts to conceal evidence extended beyond physical objects, as sources within the file stated that David had quietly hired a new legal team and transferred his personal assets out of his name, signaling his awareness that authorities were closing in. His arrest followed shortly after, confirming he had desperately attempted to shield his finances.
Transferring these assets in the middle of an investigation, as opposed to 2 years ago or a year ago.
Right.
Could a court look at this and say, this was a deliberate attempt to, what you say, concealing assets, and they could breach it, they could pierce it, they could say, even though that you've transferred this into your mother's name, that was invalid. This is a way for, let's say, a plaintiff who sues him, or let's say in a criminal judgment to pay that fine. Can a court look at that and say, even though you transferred it, it's still open season on those properties?
Yeah, this is what's so puzzling about this. It is a very basic premise of law throughout the country that you can't transfer assets after the event happens that would otherwise trigger collecting on those assets. So we have rules in different states. Sometimes they're called fraudulent transfers. Sometimes they're called fraudulent conveyances. There's a lot of different names for them. But the crux of it is you cannot transfer assets.
Despite David's calculated attempt to outmaneuver law enforcement by concealing his wealth and assets, every effort ultimately failed. His case even caught the attention of DJ academics, who began analyzing the titles of David's released songs, including Crashing and Where Did It Go Wrong, drawing eerie and undeniable connections to the circumstances surrounding this entire case.
Crashing, Where'd It Go Wrong, Ghost, Where Did You Go? Afterlife?
This is where the narrative takes a compelling turn. Many question why David's arrest was delayed. The reality is that authorities were systematically pressure testing David's inner circle to turn against him, and it worked. A new witness in Celeste's case emerged, explicitly holding David responsible for her death. Most alarming, however, is that this witness was David's secret lover, Neo. Prior to the arrest, Neo posted on Instagram, "Thankfully, I am legally cleared in every way, and I absolutely have the receipts for everything." This triggered a formal investigation by the state of California, specifically targeting David for offenses including one count of murder, which has now been officially confirmed as of April 20th.
There is now pending in the Superior Court of the County of Los Angeles the above entitled grand jury investigation by the state of California against Target David Burke, wherein Target may be involved in having committed the following criminal offenses against the laws of the state of California, to wit, 1 count of murder. This is big. This is big because it was always a question of whether or not they were really investigating him and gathering evidence regarding a murder charge.
The truth surrounding what happened to Celeste continues to unfold. Archived Instagram photos show David and Neo in highly intimate settings, including recreating the iconic Titanic pose and appearing together in bed. Additional images further demonstrate the close and personal nature of their relationship.